Hey, everybody, it's Jake from the show. What you're about to hear is a preview of our latest bonus episode, which we do over there at patreon.com/Pod Casty For Me. This is an episode where we talked about the documentary Budd Boetticher, A Man Can Do That, which features both Clint Eastwood and Paul Schrader as talking heads. And we also talk a little bit about the work of Budd Boetticher, who was an influence on both of them in very different ways, and about the auteur theory, which is something that obviously pertains to our show in all sorts of different ways. We have very nuanced, a real smart guy, things to say about it. A lot of people listen to this episode and their heads start to hurt because we are so smart and correct. So I hope you enjoy this taste of the bonus episode, and if you like what you hear, you can go over to patreon.com/Pod Casty For Me and pay $5 a month to get this and all kinds of other bonus episodes about Clint Eastwood and Paul Schrader and Steven Soderbergh adjacent works. So we'll see you over there. Enjoy this taste. So we're talking about Budd Boetticher. Specifically, we watched a film called Budd Boetticher, Jesus Christ, Club Boetticher. Budd Boetticher, A Man Can Do That.
Yeah, A Man Can Do That. This is
a documentary.
Yeah. This is a talking head and clip show style documentary.
This is a real DVD extra type thing. I was having trouble figuring out if this played any film festivals or anything.
It is, but it's official enough that it does feel like it would, but prime time maybe. This gets a Sunday afternoon NBC or something.
Is that prime time?
Well, I guess I mean a major network channel.
Primetime was always my least favorite part of math class. I had to remember that list of numbers.
Yeah, every day, of course.
Prime numbers are fucking stupid. Is there any use to them?
Cryptography. Let's keep going. Okay. A Man Can Do That.
So this was a documentary that came out in 2005. It's been included on a number of DVD box sets of Budd Boetticher films. It features a number of our guys.
It really does.
Paul Schrader is an interviewee. Clint Eastwood is an interviewee. He is also...
He gets a really good introduction. I know you enjoy this also because...
It's like a jump scare. But it's a jump scare for him.
That's exactly right. The film starts with Quentin Tarantino waxing poetic about the influence of Budd Boetticher.
He's waxing. He's certainly waxing.
Yeah, he's waxed. I mean, this is 2005. You can imagine why they start with him as sort of a relevance. Right. And he's talking about his love for this stuff.
And it's a classic, talking head documentary shot of just this guy taking up most of the frame, right?
Yep. And he's talking about how he's been a fan for 20 years. He discovered Andrew Sarris's American Cinema, and through that, Budd Boetticher, when he was in the 6th grade. And he talks about how somebody who's 95 can watch Tall T and love it. And somebody 19, if they give it a chance, they'll get caught up in the characters. And he's really going full Quentin Tarantino. Yeah. That mix of I'm intrigued by this person and also off-put by them.
Too much. Yeah, too much energy. And then it zooms out. It cuts to
a wider shot
where it's revealed that sitting next to him
is
Clint Eastwood just sitting there.
And I gotta say, having seen the full documentary now, not clear to me, except they maybe anticipated a little bit more back and forth between them or something. Why did they put these two people together?
I mean, maybe they were... Well, so here's an interesting wrinkle, because Clint doesn't say he says about a Clint Eastwood amount of stuff in this documentary, and Quentin Tarantino says a Tarantino amount of stuff.
That's right. I would say Eastwood almost says more than you expect him to, which is way less than anybody else would say.
Well, there might be a reason for that, but I have a screen grab of this. A lot of what you hear from Tarantino, you also just get to see Clint look at him while he's saying it, because Clint's not gonna. It's not a back and forth. And so I think he regards him kind of like you would, like a ventriloquist dummy where you couldn't see the ventriloquist. He's looking at him like he's trying to figure out where this is coming from. Where's the sound coming from?
He's a man bemused. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
A man can do that. So an interesting thing about this, and about the fact of Clint being next to Tarantino, is he produced this.
Uh-huh.
Clint. And it's also directed by Bruce Ricker, who was a jazz and blues documentarian who he worked on Mystic River and Bridges of Madison County in the music department. He also directed Eastwood After Hours live at Carnegie Hall, which is a sort of a document of a jazz concert that Clint put on and was involved in. And he directed Dave Brubeck in His Own Sweet Way, which Clint produced. He was also involved in the Thelonious Monk Straight No Chaser. Yeah. So he's like Clint's... Oh, and I think he maybe he came up with the idea for the piano blues episode of the Ken Burns jazz thing that...
Clint appears on.
Or no, wait. Is it... Clint directed that or something. Anyway, he's like Clint's music buddy.
Yeah.
Who also made a couple of more Hollywood focused things. But so I think Clint. I mean, I don't imagine he was an extremely hands-on producer. He doesn't seem like he would give a shit about that. But he could have said, "No, I don't want to sit next to this guy."
For sure.
So I'm fascinated. I wonder, did they both have limited availability or something? Could they both only do Thursday at 1?
And you know what? It's not totally unreasonable. Obviously, they both have connections to Sergio Leone, and they represent, I think, different extremes of people that evolved out of that lineage. So I kind of understand that there is an implicit conversation between these two people. Of course, different generations. So there is something interesting, I think, from a filmmaking instinctual standpoint of saying, let's bring these two people together because they represent such different experiences. I mean, this guy who could say that he grew up with Budd Boetticher films versus this person who admires them in the abstract and understands them maybe more as a part of cinema history or something.
Yes.
So I get why they're put together, but on screen, like you're saying, mostly what it amounts to is Clint being fairly taciturn and just talking about how much he admires this guy and makes a few, I think, again, we'll get to them, but unusually interested in film technique for Clint Eastwood comments. So little jewels of insight into what he believes. And then, like you're saying, Tarantino just won't shut up about him.
Yep. He won't shut up in general.
Yeah.
So that's the preview. I'm sorry that I said enjoy this taste. That was really gross, and I wish I could take it back, but I have a special kind of hard drive where you cannot delete anything from it, and so that had to stay in. So again, if you like what you hear, despite the enjoy this taste part, you can go to patreon.com/podcasty4me and throw down a couple of bucks, get access to all the great episodes we've recorded over there. Those come out every other week, so if you want some Jake and Ian stuff every single Friday, just sign up for the Patreon. You'll get the main feed and you'll get the bonus stuff, and you'll never have to go more than 7 days without hearing us in your head. Enjoy this taste.